Ooh, all right. Thanks to Sick Chick for this final suggestion here. This is Unique Breaking Necks.
She wildin' for respect, breaking necks, breaking necks. She wildin' for respect, cut the check, cut the check. She wildin' for respect, breaking necks, breaking necks. You know I'm verified, watch the flag, watch the flag. She wildin' for respect, breaking necks, breaking necks. She wildin' for respect, cut the check, cut the check. She wildin' for respect, breaking necks, breaking necks. You know I'm verified, watch the flag, watch the flag. She wildin'.
Shouts to Unique, you heard?
Hey, Jersey shit. Damn.
That was lit. I liked everything about that track. That, you know, that 808 groove that was just going the whole time. I love that shaker in the background. The groove was crazy, had me bouncing the whole time. I love how they, you know, like were really repetitive with that vocal, but it never got to feel old just because they kept chopping it in different ways and then taking it away and bringing it back. So, and, you know, changing the overall energy level of the track by like bringing in and out percussive layers and then bringing them back. Really well done. I really enjoyed that. Plus that video was fun as shit. Just all the people dancing and everything and smoking weed. It was super cool.
Yeah, it felt like the beat felt like very UK, but like the overall tonality of the song felt like Jersey Club or something. So it was like a really cool mix of styles. And also like the vocal processing on that, top notch, like silky. And that it's just like, again, catchy groove, catchy vocals on top. You don't have to get too at the start, like I thought it was going to go somewhere else, but then as I realized when it broke back down into something else, I was like, cool, it's just going to do this thing. I like this thing. So let's listen to it do more of this thing.
Yeah, it was only 2.5 minutes long. There was no room for me to get tired of what it was doing.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like I was expecting it to like build up and go into something bigger. I think because that's the expectation of a lot of maybe what I've been listening to lately. But like you said, Evan, when it broke back down, you're like, oh, okay, this is what it's going for. I was like, okay, cool. It very much stuck true to exactly what the track was. And like we mentioned before, like the focus of this track was that rolling groove and the vocals. And they found ways to keep that interesting and develop those quote unquote characters over time. And I think that track will go off if you played that live. Like that bass line, especially with those vocals, like that's a solid vocal hook you got there, and the way they just switched it up and kept it interesting. Fire.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, really dug that a lot. One thing I wanted to note on, like, since that vocal was in there a lot of the time, but there's also that super saturated bass, I want you to notice how the vocals were given all the space at the high end. Like, even, like, especially that really saturated bass, it had a lot of saturated. That's going to add a lot of harmonics. That's going to give you a lot of that high end, but they rolled it off. They shelved it down. They made sure that really had that mid-range saturation to growl at you, but it didn't have any of that high-end fuzz because you need that zone for the vocal clarity to really cut through. So like we talk about, like, the song was very much about the 808, but it was even more about that vocal. And so they made that mixed decision to take away from how in your face the 808 was, let that low rumble and boom really stick around, but give the top end completely to the vocalist and let that crystal clear, vocal. You can hear every bit of air on top of those words. Very well done.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about on the podcast before, that it is super important. Like, everyone thinks about their low end like a single file line, right? You got your kick and your sub, and the sub doesn't play when the kick hits. You got them side chained, right? The uber high end isn't a single file line, but you can only have a very few things up there and maintain that consistency of clarity. And especially when you have a vocal like that, you got to make sure that space is there for the vocal. You're probably not going to sidechain it, but anything that doesn't need like 10K plus, roll that off, because otherwise you're just going to have a big mess up there and nothing's going to have that clarity that you really want. And especially when you have a vocal like that, you got to have the space to keep that high end defined up there.
I like it.
What's up, humans? Yo, thanks so much for watching our reaction video. I'm Luke Rain from the Human Music Podcast. Please hit that subscribe, hit that like, comment. Let us know what videos you want to see us do in the future, or let us know what you thought of our breakdown of this one. And remember, we've got a whole podcast where we break down all sorts of producer and music related content. So tune in to the channel or check us out at thehumanmusicpodcast.com. All right, peace out, humans, and peace among worlds.